Yes, it's me again, and you may not know this, but an awful lot of work goes into one of these podcasts. No, it does. I mean, at least that's what they tell me. Actually, the truth is, I spend most of my weekend racking my brain trying to come up with the absolute perfect topic for this week's podcast. And then, as I was doing it last weekend, the idea came to me, and I think it's a better idea. Solicit my extremely loyal and hardworking staff and use one of their crappy ideas. Maybe I can polish it up and pretend it's my own idea. So here goes nothing. Let's take a look at some of their suggestions. The first one is from somebody on my staff named Derek. He's a nice guy. Here's his picture. Not really even sure what he does, but he says, Glenn, I'd love for you to do a rant on airline food. You know how bad it is. Derek, great idea. Very original. The only thing stopping me is I actually like airline food. I swear to you, I'm not kidding. The food they serve when I'm flying on my private jet, it is always top notch. You know what? I don't know why everybody doesn't fly that way. Sometimes I fly around a city just to have a meal. It's that yummy. Next suggestion comes in from Liz, who runs my magazine called Fusion. Glenn, I see a lot of homeless people on the street here in New York. There must be something to do with them to help. Do you have any ideas for eliminating homelessness? Actually, Liz, great question. I do. I have a suggestion to help all of the homeless people. It's a little something not a lot of people know about called hotels. They're actually big buildings. They've got rooms that you can go right in and get a good night's sleep on a really good bed. They'll bring food to your room. Some of them have like drinks right there in the room. Seriously. In fact, there's a hotel right in this building where I'm broadcasting from. It's called the Oriental Mandarin. Look it up online. Homeless people, go right online right now and look. You can get a room there for like $800 a night. It's great. Have the kimchi. Problem solved. Let's see. This one comes in from, this should be interesting. Adam writes in, Glenn, the joys of drinking blood on your first deer kill on a cold November morning. Here's a picture of Adam. Pretty much explains everything, doesn't it? Next idea is from Stu. You can always count on Stu. Glenn, do you know where I left my keys? Can't seem to find them. Stu, try looking in your left coat pocket. Evan, one of my producers, suggested I do a podcast about all the things in your house you don't know that can kill you. Sounds like a lot of fun, but he goes on. Glenn, did you know... This is Evan for you. Did you know approximately 11 people die every year in the United States from televisions that fall on them and crush them to death? Also, dishwashers are responsible for countless deaths and serious injuries. Most people don't realize, Glenn, you can easily slip on a wet kitchen floor and fall on a drawer of knives and forks, impaling yourself and causing great bodily harm. Someone sounds like they're planning on killing their wife, quite frankly. Evan, thanks for the public service announcement, but we're really not good housekeeping, quite frankly, and you're starting to freak me out. All right, really not working out, but I do have one more. This one comes in from Paul Stark, one of our writers. He's about this tall. Well, I'm sitting down, so it's actually about this tall. And he says, Glenn, as you know, I'm getting married later this year. I found out my wedding is going to cost me $60,000. How about using the podcast to raise 60 grand for my wedding? Either that or give me a really good raise. You know what? Let me tell you something, Paul. The quality that you do for writing, let me tell you right now, raise completely out of the question. But I'm going to help you. This is going to be the very first and quite possibly the quickest telethon in the history of podcasting. Here it is. Here's a photo of Paul and his fiancée. That's Paul on the left. In the next 10 seconds, we're going to try to raise $60,000. If you happen to have $60,000, you don't know what to do with it, send it to Paul Stark, care of Glenn Beck, CNN. Don't really know the address. Done. Well, sorry, we're all out of time. And somehow it didn't really ever get off the ground. But hopefully, I'll rack my brain, prod my people, and we'll come up with something next week. Probably. See you then. Sick, Twisted Freak.